All right, Dr. Yelland, the floor is yours.
Okay, so you wanted to know more about the DIY moving cube
Yeah,
business stream that we kind of developed.
I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, probably the easiest thing to do is if I share some pictures with you.
100%. That's why I'm recording it.
Uh, sorry. Oh, I bet I'm sharing the wrong one now. Hang on.
I can see a bunch of little containers on wheels.
Yeah, no, I want to share a bigger. You're not seeing this though when I open it up.
No, I'm just seeing
No.
about 12 or 15 pictures of containers.
Yeah, I
Did you have more than one screen?
yeah, yeah. I just needed to open it up, open it up first and then share it.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Yeah. So these, and I don't know if this will allow me to share go scroll through them or not. I think it should. So what we've done is we've taken a container size that's these are basically 4.5 feet wide, 5.5 feet wide, pardon me, 8 feet tall and 8 feet long, deep. And the idea is that, you could come to our yard and rent a small space in our yard, and people like to rent the smaller spaces for sure. But my thought was to have this available for someone so that they could hook it up to their small car, small to mid-sized car, and move their stuff from one apartment to the next, or move their kid from home to university. So it's designed so that we've got forklift guides on all four sides, so we can load the container onto the trailer, then we lock it down, and then you can hook it up and drive away with your small car, small truck, small SUV. It only weighs total weight here is about empty. It's about 1,500 pounds, so full is going to be about 4,000 pounds. So we could tow this with my wife's Subaru quite handily, or a small SUV, that kind of thing. And the idea is to rent the container. If you rent it on our yard, just sitting in place, then it's uh, probably $75 a month. If you want to use it and move your daughter or move from one apartment to the other or stuff, then there's a daily fee. And what we do is um, we include the container rental, or sorry, the trailer rental in it. So you pay $30 a day, basically. Sorry, I'm not sure. Let me just open up my numbers on that one because I just revised this.
So you could put 4,000 pounds on a single axle?
Yeah, it's a 5,000 pound axle. Yeah, so we currently have 15 units. Looking at the market in Saskatoon, comparison to, renting a trailer from Home Depot or renting a trailer from another, any of the other Flamin or people like that, or renting a container from U-Haul, although U-Haul doesn't allow you to do this. They want you to rent one of their U-boxes, pack it up, they'll come and pick it up, and then they'll happily store it in their yard or move it across the country for you, but they don't want you to pick it up and, they wouldn't allow me to use it to move my daughter to Regina. Whereas with our system, you could do that. So we're looking at $30 a rental per day, basically. And we're looking at renting these things. We estimate in the first year, we should be able to rent each unit 100 days a year. So 15 units, $30 a day, 100 days a year, generates $45,000 a year in income. And the 15 units should cost uh, $62,000.
Now, the 15 units, these are just containers, right?
Yeah,
They don't come, that doesn't include the trailer, right?
right. So the trailer is $5,000.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at about, less than $70,000. You can generate $45,000 a year. It makes a lot more sense when you get 30 containers and five trailers, because then you're generating.
Yeah. So let me ask you a couple of questions just so I make sure I understand it, Greg. I think it's
Sure.
really neat. First of all, just from a safety point of view, how are you fastening the containers to the trailer? I have visions, some idiot going down the highway at 80 miles an hour with this thing, waving back and forth behind their little car, and
Yeah.
and something bad happens. I mean, so how are you how are you attaching the container to the trailer?
We actually, it doesn't show up in here, but we have clamps that go onto the forklift guides on the sides. So it's clamped down in the fashion similar to the way a Seacan is clamped down onto
Yeah.
a big truck.
Okay. So you need a forklift to lift the units on and off, right?
Yes,
All right. So you have a forklift, you mount it up, and then a consumer comes along, attaches it to her car or whatever, takes it home, puts all her her kids' stuff in there, and takes them to Regina, right?
yeah,
Okay. And so it's $30 a day, and that's for the container and the trailer.
correct.
All right. So if you're just need it for like a weekend from, Thursday to Sunday, it's basically 120 bucks.
Right.
That's pretty cheap. What would Home Depot cost, or what would U-Haul cost? Quite a bit more than that, I think.
Yes, the U-Haul system wouldn't really work unless you'd have to rent one of their trucks.
Yeah, you
So then
would.
you're renting the truck at the small truck, I believe, is about 45 or $50 a day, depends on the market. They require you to have insurance, which makes sense.
Yeah, makes
And then, of
sense.
course, you pay for the fuel and the mileage.
And-
So
and
you rapidly get over that $120 mark with a truck.
do you
Home
provide
Depot
insurance?
trailers,
Yeah, yeah, I
sorry,
get it. Do you provide insurance with this, Greg?
we can sell them insurance on it. We have insurance available for them to buy. I haven't decided if we want to force that or not yet.
Okay. I know what that's like. Now, these things need to be plated? Does the trailer need to have a plate?
Yes. Yeah. And if they were to rent an enclosed trailer from Flamin or from Home Depot, they're looking at closer to $50 a day
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
plus insurance.
plus insurance, exactly. For your trailer, the in Ontario to plate a trailer is 80 bucks, and it's a one-time payment and it's good forever.
Right.
We don't have to renew them every year. You just go and register your trailer, you get a license and put it on, and you're good to go.
I think in Saskatchewan, it's still an annual trailer fee. I
Okay.
know my trailer is still licensed in Alberta because I still have my house in Alberta. And
Yeah.
in Alberta, it's a 5-year perm. You pay
Yeah.
$25 or something
I,
and
I
you get
love
it.
the fact that Ontario, you buy the plate and you forget about it. As long as you've got the trailer, your plate's there. You
Exactly.
don't have
Yeah.
to worry about a renewal. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm going to try showing you some other pictures
yeah,
here.
I'd love to see more
Let me
pictures.
know if you can see the next one. Did it
Yeah,
change?
perfect. I see it perfectly. Yeah,
Okay. So this is the first load of containers that of this size that we received. So
right.
they have two locks,
I see it.
top and bottom, and then a door handle in the center. And they're deadbolt locks. Of course, they've got the rain gutter guard on the top, so if it starts
Yeah,
raining while you're driving on the highway, nothing's getting
hopefully,
in
yeah.
on your stuff.
It's really
And you
neat.
don't really need a forklift. I should have clarified that. You can certainly load these things all day long with a small bobcat.
Okay. Show me some more pictures. I'm enjoying it.
Okay. This is when they first arrived last fall.
Did you buy them from Turkey?
Yeah. Yeah. We got these from our same manufacturer. We went to him with a different design and said, this is what we want to make it. Um,
They're
it needed to
fantastic.
be a different size than his normal small
Yeah,
container, so we had to redesign it. So when you assemble it, these are separate panels and they're the
yeah,
same size as the back panel, so it's fairly convenient for shipping and for assembly when it arrives.
yeah. It's pretty simple to put these things together. I know because we've got some.
Yeah.
Keep going. It's great. Oh, I want to see the handle. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's fairly mouse proof, you think?
Yes. So the way they're designed, um, the floor, uh, probably easier if I stop sharing. Okay, so here's the floor of the container. The wall sits down the entire depth of the
Right.
floor. The floor is 3/4 of an inch thick, so the wall bolts down to the frame down here. Sorry, hang on. So it sits down like this. So there's no area for the mice to get into. We haven't had any mouse issues. I had one once in Lloydminster, and when I got out to the site to see what was going on, the daughter was moving stuff in and out. It had the door open. So I asked her, I said her mom had wanted me to come out because there was a mouse, and she says, yeah, well, I've been moving stuff all day. So, the door's been open for 4 hours. So I thought, well, okay, I didn't need to drive 2 hours for that, but
No, you did not. How is the marketing? How are you doing the marketing?
we're just working our way through that, trying to figure out what that needs to be out. I want to hit the market that U-Haul is beside but not addressing, and I don't want to necessarily identify a market that U-Haul could jump into. I wouldn't be surprised if they would after a while, but we're essentially going after the people like Flamin and Home Depot. So
Yeah,
I'm
makes a
thinking a
lot of
lot
sense.
of Facebook ads, some Google ads probably, and focusing on different times of the year. I'll also go to the university and to the college here and, do some advertising there so that people can when you go as a parent to take your daughter to university, you can also find out about you will be finding out about various university services, and one of them could very well be, the U of S has they don't sponsor it, they don't provide it, but they know of people who offer moving services for people, right? So I would think my connections with the student union would would support that kind of a um, venture.
Well, you remember I show everybody this thing, right?
Yeah,
And and one of the things for sure, Greg, to make this a success, we have to find what I call a magic marketing button, right?
right.
Something you press and people just flock to it. Um, and for myself, I have not really had a lot of success with Google Ads. At least for me, Google Ads are really, really complicated. And, like if I have a tiny house for rent, I can put an ad on Kijiji. It takes maybe 15 or 20 minutes to create an ad on Kijiji. Cost me $100 or something like that for the month. And I'll get 8 or 10 inquiries of somebody wanting to rent a tiny house or an apartment or something like that. So in my neck of the woods, $100 or $200 of marketing can get me a 2-year lease at $1,300 a month. So
Yeah,
so Kijiji works really well for that.
yeah,
And so I think I like the market you're going after. I like the units. The ROI looks fine, provided that there's something that you can do that gets you, you spend $100 or $200 in marketing and you get, 20 leads, right? And
yeah.
and or that's what's really important. I have no idea how U-Haul does it, except they're such a household name that maybe the marketing they do now is just continuing to put the brand out there, and of course their vehicles are marked. Do you have a name for this business?
The God Storage Store and Go container.
Say that again.
It's the God Storage Store and Go.
got storage, store and go.
Yeah, like store apostrophe N apostrophe go.
I like that. I would just shorten it up to store and go.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to decal them?
Yes. Yep.
Decal them store and go, and with these days, I find if you put an email address on your store and go, and you put a text number, so there's a cell number that people can text to,
Yep.
that's the way people want to communicate these days. They don't really want to talk to human beings.
No, I know.
I mean, so rather than putting, www.storeandgo.ca on or .com on it, I would have, I'd give a name to the person. This would be an imaginary person. I would, and it's usually a female, right? Because females are
Yep.
generally more trusted than men. And it's true. I would have, let's fool around for a minute. I'll share my screen with you in a second here. So I think, can you see my screen okay?
I can. Yeah.
Sort of like that, is it?
Yep.
That
Yep.
looks about right.
Exactly. Yes. And I was thinking, like the font similar to what we would have seen in the 60s on the side of a work truck, kind of a vintagey look. It goes with our logo style.
Okay. Store and go. And then I would have, do you have a website yet?
Yep. Yep.
What is it?
Storage.ca.
So I would create an imaginary emissary, give it an easy name to remember and spell.
Mm-hmm.
And then uh, just for the hell of it, what's your cell number?
306 821 4554.
Does that look right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll make this a little bigger. Just fooling around.
Yep. I have a system that I've been looking at that's quite cool. If someone calls our phone number, it
Mm-hmm.
will text them back, and then they can have a whole communication, a whole conversation. They can even get to the point of buying or renting a container, just through the text process with the
Isn't that
system.
fantastic?
Yeah.
So it would be something like this, right?
Yes. Yep.
On the side, because I'm telling you, I can't believe how many people today, especially younger people, they're out of the hat. They text everybody, they email everybody, they message everybody, they don't actually talk to each other.
I know. I'm continually reminding my children, if you don't reach me, don't complain if I don't respond. Just phone
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. No, it's bad. I mean, I force myself to get out of my office and not do everything over Zoom. If I get a chance to go and do a showing as a realtor or even have a in-person coaching session, I say, oh yeah, yeah, I'll come to your place, just to get
Yeah.
out. I mean, otherwise I'm just stuck in my office all the time.
Oh, I hear that. Yeah. I go to Tim Hortons a lot just so that I can get out of the
Yeah,
office.
yeah. All right. So I gotta go in here. Let's see. I got a lot of Greg Yelland files here. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I'll see if I've got in here. I don't think I have anything in here about Store and Go yet. This is a great idea.
Well, I was trying to develop something that would, add some income for us
Yeah,
because
of course.
and there's very little cost other than buying the containers because we're already there. And for that very reason, I think it works for storage facilities. It works for people who, you know, rent and sell cars. There's a lot of places you can put this down.
All right. So we've got Store and Go. For more information, email Emily or text this number. Something like that.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about the MMB.
Okay.
Well, we know that decals on the containers are a part of it, right?
Yep.
So we know that that's going to be something that we need to do. All right, I get that. So one would be decals on the containers,
Right.
right? Two, you have a website, and the
Yep.
website is www.godstorage.ca.
Correct.
Got it. So that's the right web.
Yes.
Okay. Um, is there, is there, is there some place you can put an ad on Kijiji?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. We've had a lot of response to our Facebook Marketplace
I'll bet
posts.
you have. So let's post an ad just for the hell of it. We're not actually going to do it. No, I got to sign now. I'll have to go to the other screen. I'll stop sharing the screen. All right, so hang on a second, Greg. We'll check out the other screen now. All right, so what would your ad title be for this? We're just fooling around.
Yeah. Um, I keep thinking them as a do-it-yourself moving system or process, but I don't think that's going to catch people as far as an
No,
ad.
that's not very that's not very catchy.
No. Um, I see probably different ads if you're moving yourself from apartment to apartment or moving your kids to university.
I don't know what to do. Movie, try store and go. I'm just going to go with that for now, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some time thinking
I
about
know
that.
that. What I was really interested is where the hell does it go in here? Now it's community services, real estate, cars and vehicles. Would it go under cars and vehicles? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Services probably.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that. Moving and
moving and
storage.
storage. There we
Oh,
go.
now we're going places. All right. Moving, try store and go. All right. So then you have to do that. Okay, so we know, okay, I don't need to do any more. I just I just needed to make sure there was a good category in Kijiji, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I can stop sharing. Okay, yeah.
It's a paid category as I recall, but
Yeah, yeah, well, that's fine. You want to have the top ad and you get lots of leads. So I'm going to go uh, back here. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll go back here again. All right, so we've got Decals on the containers, website, Kijiji would be services and moving. That's the category.
yeah.
I think Facebook Marketplace would be a good one too. Okay, anything else? I'm not even going to put Google ads down here because I can't use them. They're too complicated.
I would add it to our Google, um, our business page on Google
Yeah, I like that.
because it's just another product to add on there.
I like that. My
I've
business,
been
that's
playing around with Google Notebook LM recently, and it's an AI tool from Google that allows you to take text and turn it into podcasts.
yeah.
So I would put a podcast or two on our website so that and even post them so that people can check out a link for a new moving service.
I think you do a couple of
Moving yourself around kind of thing.
YouTube videos,
Yep, can do those too.
and I think you'd do a TikTok video because you want to move students.
Right. Yep.
And the target market is what?
Well, people moving from apartment to apartment. So younger adults probably.
Maybe, yeah,
Um,
yeah. A
People moving
student.
from an apartment to a home. People moving small amounts of stuff, really. So students, apartment dwellers,
I
people
just have
moving
a
out for the first
stupid
time.
question to ask you. What about small freight? Is that would anybody find this useful for moving a few, moving some freight? I mean,
It might, and certainly, if not small freight, then probably it could be an excess cargo capacity for small freight companies. That makes sense?
yep,
I wasn't sure I explained that clearly.
yeah, yeah, and I think also extended storage and it can be stored outside.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Stored inside or outside. They can be stacked if there's two outside, two high or outside or three high inside loaded.
Yeah, stored inside, and you can stack three high.
Three high inside, two
Yeah,
high outside.
that makes sense. So stack too high outside. Okay. So there's lots of markets there for you. Okay, I like it. Um, and what you have is you have some, you have what do you call it? Mini storage. Customers would be, yeah, I don't want to call them customers. I'll call them, they're not customers. Customers are like the end user, like somebody moving his kid to
Yeah.
university. What do you
Yeah.
call the a mini storage company that buys this? Franchisees? And they're not really franchises.
No, because franchisee would require too much extra
Oh, no, you're
work.
not doing that.
Dealership,
Yeah, I
dealers,
like that. Dealerships. So the dealerships would be, I think, they would be mini storage places, right?
correct?
Um,
Equipment rental,
say it again.
equipment rental places.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Um,
Movers,
Movers, yeah, for
small
sure.
movers, they might want to deal on this stuff.
Yeah. Trailer rental companies. There are people in Saskatoon who rent just flatbeds kind of things. So
Yeah,
this gives them another option.
yeah. Maybe even Seacan companies.
Sure. Yeah.
Not mom and
People who
dad.
rent cars.
Oh, car rental, that's a big one. And just entrepreneurs.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe even, people who sell sheds
Sure. Yep.
everywhere you go. All right. And we're saying the cost to get involved is 15 units, $62,000. And how many, if you have 15 units, how many trailers do you need? One, two, three?
With 15, you need 3 trailers.
So that's $15,000, right?
Right.
And you need a Bobcat, right?
You need something.
How much is a
You
how much is a
could
Bobcat?
20, 25 grand, I would think.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah. We bought a small forklift for $9,000. A
Okay.
person could stack them, store them, pardon me. On my storage yard, I could build up a um,
Yeah, it's like level loading.
yes, yes. So you could do level loading, and then you don't need anything other than to build the you know the level once.
Yeah, I get that, but that's really cool. No, I like it.
And
And
the trailer comes with a ramp so that you can, when you as the user get to site, you drop the ramp down and load
that's
your
cool.
stuff up and
Yeah,
then flip the ramp up. It also helps to lock the door so that the door can't, even though the door is locked, there's no way the door is going to pop open.
yeah, yeah. So, and then what we said was uh, monthly fee to store container is $70, right?
$75, yeah.
75. Daily fee with trailer is
Thirty.
$30, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had, I'm just saying, if you had uh, 15 containers, right?
Yeah.
15 units. And we'll say, I'm just going to say, just for the hell of it, 10 stored on site
Okay.
at a time. This is just for the hell of it, gives you $750 a month, right?
Right.
And then we say 5 units on the road. And we'll say, 15 days a month.
Okay.
So that's 5 times 15 times 30.
Correct.
That's $2,250 per month. Total equals,
3,000.
yeah, equals 3,000 per month. Just keep going here. Equals 36,000 per year. You've got some expenses against that, right? I don't know what your operating costs are. You get
They're
some
not very
marketing
high,
and insurance, right?
because you as the renter are paying for the fuel and doing the
Yeah, yeah,
work.
but I mean, you're going to have insurance for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're going to have some operating costs. I mean, if you've got a Bobcat or a small forklift, you've got somebody loading and unloading these things. So, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just going to go at 34%. That's probably too high, but I'm going to do that just so I get a sense of it. So the
Sure.
operating
Yeah.
expenses might be $36,000 times 0.34. That's 12,000. $240 per year. Gives you a net operating income of minus 36,000. 36,000 minus 12,240. Try and get it right this time. 36,000 minus 12,240 is 23,760 bucks.
760.
Hmm?
Sorry.
And your total cost to start this thing up, well, we know what it is. It's $62,000 plus 15,000 plus 9,000.
86,000?
Yeah, 86,000. So your cap rate on this thing is pretty damn good, I think. I'll try it again. 23 0 divided by 86,000. So it's 27.6%. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's accurate, but sort of that gives you a sense of it. Something like that. Now, to me, it has to be an adjunct to your existing business. You can't, this wouldn't be something you could set up on your own. Like just that would be your business unless you had a lot more than 15 units, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
I see it as an adjunct, or if someone wants to have a small side hustle that, because they could lease all of the equipment. So they would, as long as they're bringing in enough over top of their lease payment, then they're good.
I wonder if you could, listen, I'm saying, I wonder if you could operate this from a home.
Very good.
If you have a garage, you might be able to put some of these containers in the garage, right?
Yeah.
How many
Yeah.
could you put in the garage though?
I have a single garage and I could, with nothing else in there, I could put 5 of them in there.
So a double garage could hold how many units?
I would say it could hold 10.
I'm going to say 8 units.
Sure.
So you could probably you might be able to get away with it as a home-based business. I mean, it'd be fun to operate, I think, but I think your neighbors would get pretty pissed off with you.
I think it'd be something someone could rent a little bit of space from a contractor yard and operate it out of that.
Yeah, oh, I like that. Well, that's a really good idea because you can get a small yard. I mean, we wouldn't need a big yard. You can get one for $350 a month, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I really like the idea. So have you had anybody sort of interested in trying it out?
We have, and we've got 15 containers in, and we've made our first trailer. So we're getting ready to prototype the marketing and start trying to rent some up this coming springtime.
You know that because each of these trailers have VIN numbers, you could finance the trailers.
Yes. Yeah.
And one other thing I just found out is if you put a VIN number or serial number on your containers, which you should do anyway,
Right.
you can finance those too.
Yes.
Did you
Yep.
know that?
Yep. We have financed containers before.
Yeah.
I've
Do, do,
leased
do they
some.
have do they already have serial numbers on them?
The leasing company would prefer a serial number from the manufacturer, but they're also okay with a we put a unit number on them,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
okay with that.
So so I would say financing of trailers with VIN numbers and storage units with serial numbers.
Yep.
And I guess you probably do, that Store and Go could start their own serial numbers as long like
Yep.
I work with some shed guys, and I don't know if you can see this.
It's all whited out, but
It doesn't matter. It's what it is it's a metal plate
yeah,
that they attach to each of their sheds,
right,
and it has a serial number on it. They created it. So as soon
right,
as they sell a shed, like I buy some of their sheds, they cost me anywhere from $10,000 to $14,000, right?
right,
And they put a plate like this on it. It's obviously permanently affixed to the unit, and it has a serial number on it, and that is perfectly acceptable as long as the company, in this case, Store and Go, and on this one, as long as North Country Sheds keeps a record of obviously the serial numbers. So they have a record, a permanent record, which says, serial number, blah, 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 sold to Bruce Firestone, and there's the address, a last known address.
right. Yep.
And as you know, serial numbers, you could do exactly the same thing. So I would recommend that you do something like that. You get a plate and you
Yep.
put Store and Go, you go back up here, you put Store and Go with this, and then underneath it, it would say, serial number, and then you would start a serial number system, 100010001, something like that.
Yeah.
And you probably put the date as well, to that it was issued,
Right.
something like that.
Yep.
And as soon as they have VIN numbers and serial numbers on them, you can finance them. Just like Seacans, you know what ATCO trailers are, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, they all have serial numbers. Like I have companies like I work with PCL, which is a pretty big
Yeah.
construction company. They might buy 500 ATCO trailers at a time.
Right.
And if they cost, $10,000 each, that's a $5 million order, or whatever it is.
Right.
And PCL would just finance that, right? It's part of their financing package, right? But
Yep.
each one of the ATCO trailers has a unique serial number.
Yep.
That's fantastic, Greg.
Yeah. I took part of a conversation that you had mentioned in that last class, and I went back to one of my main clients, who's in the middle of developing a storage facility. So they're looking at 3 phases of 52 containers in each phase. And I just called him up and I said, instead of the 13.5% discount, I'll bump it up to 15%. But instead of the 15% volume discount, why don't you lease at retail and I'll give you a manufacturer's rebate. So you got cash in hand. John and I get the same amount of money. You got cash for your development. And I had to laugh because this guy's an accountant who's worked down in the Caribbean for years with big money people. And he just kind of listened. He said, "That's a brilliant idea. Never thought of that."
Can
So
you tell me I didn't quite follow. What's the idea again?
I just offered him a manufacturer's rebate of the same amount of money that I was going to give him as a discount. So he leases at full retail, and then I'll write him a check for the rebate
Oh,
portion.
okay, Dr. Yelland, you earned your PhD. So I'm glad I'm going to add it to our little note here. Hang on a second. That is fantastic, Greg. Oh, so I actually helped a little bit then.
Oh, completely. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
And I'll just put in here. So, and the manufacturer's rebate was how much?
Well, for that client at that volume, it was 15%.
Manufacturer's rebate. 15%. That is really smart because you're absolutely right. It means that if I bought 30 of these things, for $120,000, I could finance probably 80% of that. But if you gave me a 15% discount, it means I only have to come up with 5% down.
Right.
But it wouldn't be a discount. You're absolutely right. It'd be a manufacturer's rebate. Oh, that's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And if you
Yep, and
gave
I
me
took that from you,
20%,
so
then if you
thank
gave
you
me
very much.
20%, I could do it with no money down.
Yes.
That's great. Oh, that's really great. No, and I mean that's why I mean I told the class when we were working together. I said, it took me a long time to figure out why I don't really like those rebates, but now I understand why they do them.
Right. Yep.
It's very clever. Okay, well that's a good a really good a really good sales pitch. Now I've got it on YouTube. I will definitely I will definitely I will definitely talk to some people about it. The issue is it has to be people who are on site, right? In other words, it can't be just a standalone business unless you said it, like you said, it's a side hustle.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Yelland, that's really good. Okay, so I'm only going to have a few people in that class that I talked about called Beating Back the Blues. I
Right.
have found, Greg, that a lot of people, including myself to some extent, are really struggling, with too many demands. Like I probably spend 3 or 4 hours a day on email alone. And then I do some coaching, and then I do some realtor work, and then I try and look after my family. And I'm finding it, I'm 72, so older than you, but I'm finding it a bit of a struggle. And so some people said, why don't we get together? We might only have 6 or 8 people. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And but the idea would be to tell our stories, frankly, and then put to the group, look, here are the challenges I face, and get some input because too many of us are kind of locked in a silo, including myself.
Right.
And it really helps to have other people who you trust say, "Hey, Bruce, have you considered this or have you considered that?" Because
Right.
my schedule is ridiculous for somebody who's going to be 73 next month.
Right.
So I said I'm a little selfish. So I would like you to share your story as well. The good things and the bad things, and then say what you think your goals are for next year, and then get So if you wouldn't mind preparing some of that, I might ask you to do it first. You might be I'll go first because
Right.
I'll talk about some of the setbacks that I've had and how I wiggled out of them or didn't.
Right.
And then I'll set up my goals for next year. And I want people to say, well, Bruce, have you thought of this or have you thought of that? But I thought I might ask you to go second.
Hmm. Okay.
And you might also have a few slides you could show, if you wanted to. Like I'm
Right.
going to talk about, my senator's days because people are interested in that. And I put $55.6 million of my family's money, my money, into the business. And then, it went bankrupt and I got a $3,500 settlement. Uh,
Right.
so, I don't even know what fraction of a penny that is on the dollar, but it's not very much.
No. No.
So I'll tell that story, and I'll have a few slides. But I don't know if you want to, but it'll be next Friday. It's only an hour and a half, and we're only going to do 4 sessions. And I thought I'll go first, and then I thought I'd say maybe Greg would go second.
Yeah, I would do that.
And I'm going to send you. Thank you for that. I'm going to send you this piece of paper that we put together. All right, hang on a second.
Okay.
And I think. I'm just going to call it side hustle just because I like that term
Yep.
that you used. Um, so if you could put a few slides together, not very many, but a few, and I think you should say, maybe for next year, store and go is a big thing that will help pull the wagon, help pull your wagon out of the ditch. Or I'm not saying you're in the ditch, but you know what I mean.
Yep. What's
Uh,
the date
so
next Friday? Is it the
yeah, I think it's the 29th. Hang on, let me just
29th?
check on my schedule. I'll send you a Zoom invite for that, obviously. Let's see. Week and today. Yeah. So yeah, it's next Friday, I think. Yeah, it's the 29th at noon my time. So that would be you don't go back in time, right? So
Correct. So
that
it's
would be I
11
think,
for me.
11 for you. So I'm gonna say, 11 for you. So I'm gonna say 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 11 I'm going to ask Greg Yelland to go first. I'm sorry, to go second, and then I'm going to probably ask Amy. You remember Amy to go next.
Right.
All right, and then uh, that'll be good. All right, I get it. Oh shoot. And I'll send you like I said, I'll send you I'm screwing up here. I'll send you a Zoom invite, but that won't be till next week. So next Friday at noon my time, 11 o'clock your time, I'll probably go for about 40 minutes or 45 minutes, and then I'll turn to you and you can take 15 or 20 minutes, and then maybe I'll ask Amy to go after that. So we'll fill up, four hour and a half sessions. And just like I said, I don't want very many people. It's just something that we'll share our stories and get some, we can commiserate with each other, but I want it to be more productive. I don't want it just to be a bitch session. I want it to be like, okay, how do I go about, because this is the big challenge for me. How do I go about, I love coaching. I love being a realtor. I enjoy most of the development work I do, but I don't have enough free time. And I want to make a contribution, but I also want to find a way to have, so I don't work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's ridiculous. I've been doing that for 40 years.
Right. Yeah.
I'd
No,
like
I
to
agree.
have a change.
Yeah.
And more money, less work, that's would be a nice formula, right? For you and me.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah, for
love the
sure.
store and go idea. I think it's a good one. And I'm going to sign off now, but I'm going to put this up on YouTube for you and me.
Okay.
You'll have a record of it, and it'll be on YouTube in a few minutes. And let's see if we can't work together and sell some of these dealerships. I really love the idea. It's a great
Yeah.
side hustle.
Yep, for sure.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye.